Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Take Time to Think. This is part 4 where we'll wrap up our discussion on priorities. Again, my name is Ted Studdard. I'm a retired Marine Colonel, and I'm working in conjunction with the Marine Corps University Foundation and the Marine Corps University Alumni Association to produce this 4-part series on transition. As we talk about part 3 or do our recap, if you haven't gone to the website and downloaded your free copy of Take Time to Think, please pause for a minute and download that before we go any further. Now, looking back at part 3, we talked about the initial priorities. And as you're looking to transition, there are really 6 things or 6 elements that you need to prioritize. In part 3, we talked about location, we talked about company, and we talked about role and title. In part 4, we're going to continue that discussion, and we're going to talk a little bit about industry type, professional growth, and the level of effort and commitment that you and your family are willing to put into this second career. So let's dive right into industry type. So many people have a specific industry that they want to join. And if you have that clarity, that makes your transition that much easier. For example, if you're working in the IT or IT security field in the Marine Corps, you might want to transfer into IT or IT security on the civilian sector. And it certainly makes that transition a lot easier and a lot smoother than if you're going into a new industry. But if you're going into a new industry, you need to consider this as you're going to a new MOS school. You're starting all over. And although you have some incredible intangibles, leadership, the ability to make decisions and to work under pressure, you still have to learn the job. You still have to learn the basics. So do you have a willingness and a desire to learn something new? And are you willing to maybe take a couple of steps back and learn? It's kind of like going to boot camp or the basic school and starting all over and learning how the organization and the details of that industry, how they work. So if industry type is your number one priority, make sure you consider all of these elements before you dive in. The next thing is professional growth. And it really boils down to how far you want to go. Some guys want to be the president of the company or they want to be the CEO. And if that's the case, there are a lot of similarities to our time in service. You have to be willing to relocate and you have to be willing to take on different roles and different jobs. Many times the opportunities are in different parts of the country, which requires a move. And as you move, you'll want to take on different roles. So you have a more holistic view of the organization and how parts and pieces fit together. But if you want professional growth, but you're really not willing to move or you're not willing to change roles, you may consider where professional growth lands in your list of priorities. You also may consider the company that you're looking at. Does that company promote growth from within? Or for your professional growth, are you going to have to jump from one company to another, to another, to another to get that professional growth that you're looking for? You also want to consider what requirements or certifications you may want to get. I know in the HR community, there are a number of certifications as there are in the PMP community, the project management community. There are all kinds of certifications. If you want to have professional growth, consider the time and energy you're going to need to put in to get these certifications that will enable you to continue to grow. But guys, regardless of what priority you put professional growth in, do your best. You're going to do phenomenal because of who you are and what you are. The last thing is effort and commitment. How hard do you want to work? And I know that sounds funny to say that because you have busted your tails to get to this point in your life and you're going to continue to work hard every day. So don't take this the wrong way. But when I say how hard do you want to work, do you want a 40-hour week job or do you want a 60 or 70-hour a week job? What does your family want? You know, I talked to a sailor last week, and he said, you know, Ted, I have been deployed for 10 years between Iraq and Afghanistan, and I want to work hard every day, but I want to go to work at 9 o'clock and I want to come home at 5 o'clock. I don't want to travel and I don't want to be away from my family. I owe them and I want to be with them as much as humanly possible. Guys, that's great. You just need to have the clarity on effort and commitment. Being in corporate America is a lot like being in the service. If you want to move up, you're going to have to put in the extra time and the extra effort. You have to be willing to move in some cases. You have to be willing to take on more roles and additional responsibility. And if that's not the right thing for you and your family at this point in your life, then make sure you know that. And level of effort and commitment will ferret itself out and work itself out in that stack of priorities. But think of all the things that you want to do and maybe all the things that you've missed over the last, whether it be 4 years or 24 years. And here's your opportunity to do some of those things that perhaps you missed out on during your time in service. So gang, with that said, let's take a look now and rack and stack those priorities. We talked about location. We talked about company. We've talked about different roles and title. We've talked about industries, professional growth, and the level of effort and commitment you and your family are willing to put into this second career. So this is where I would ask you to sit down with your family and rank these. What is the most important thing to you? Is it location? Is it professional growth? Is it a specific industry type? Guys, it doesn't matter what your priorities are. Again, just as long as your priorities are aligned with those priorities that are important to you and your family. Guys, as we wrap this up, again, make sure you pay attention to your foundation. Have a discussion with your family. Look at your priorities and rack and stack those. And remember, you have the choices. You decide what's important to you. The choices are absolutely yours. I would ask you to begin now, have this discussion with your family, and please take the time to think. Once you've taken the time to think and you have your priorities ready, this is the time to go out and get a mentor or mentors. And it's also the time that you really want to dive into your networking now that you can focus your networking down to a more specified set of goals. Guys, get out there and get after it and have a great time in this second career. If I can help you in any way, shape, form, or fashion, please reach out to me at the contact information that's on the page. I hope to talk to you in the near future. Good luck to all of you. Take care. Thank you so much for your time today.